Portugal and Croatia face off in a clash between two European powerhouses where only one can keep dreaming of the World Cup. From now on, there are no second chances. Everything achieved in the group stage is left behind. Now the real World Cup begins. And both Portugal and Croatia arrive convinced that they have what it takes to advance to the next round. Portugal aims to confirm its status as a title contender, while Croatia seeks to prove again why they always compete at the highest level in knockout stages. Let's get straight to what most of you want. What time is the Portugal versus Croatia match? In Spain, the match will start at 1 o'clock a.m. In Portugal, it will kick off at midnight. In Croatia, the match will start at 1 o'clock a.m. In Mexico. The ball will start rolling at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. In the United States, since the match is being played in Toronto, Canada, these will be the times. East Coast, New York, Miami, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time Zone, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time Zone, Denver, 5 o'clock p.m. West Coast, Los Angeles, San Francisco, 4 o'clock p.m. In Canada, Toronto and Montreal can watch it from 7 o'clock p.m. Winnipeg, from 6 o'clock p.m. Calgary, and Edmonton from 5 o'clock p.m. and Vancouver from 4 o'clock p.m. In Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador, the match will start at 6 o'clock p.m. In Venezuela, Bolivia, Chile, and Paraguay, it will start at 7 o'clock p.m. In Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil, the match will begin at 8 o'clock p.m. In Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Nicaragua, it will start at 5 o'clock p.m. And in Panama, the kickoff will be at 6 o'clock p.m. Set your watches carefully, because this promises to be one of the most spectacular matchups of the round of 16. Portugal wants to keep moving forward with Cristiano Ronaldo as their main star, while Croatia is once again relying on the experience of Luka Modric to try to pull off the upset. Block 2. Where to watch Portugal versus Croatia. TV channels and platforms by country. And now, let's move on to one of the most important sections of this video. Where to watch Portugal vs Croatia live. Let's start with Portugal, where the match can be watched on RTP1 completely free-to-air, as well as on Sport TV, which offers full coverage of the event. La cobertura íntegra del Mundial. In Croatia, the match will be broadcast by HRT, the Croatian public television, as well as platforms with official rights. In Spain, the match can be watched completely free-to-air on La One of Televisión Española, as well as on RTVE Play and also on DAZN, which continues to offer all the World Cup matches. In Mexico, the match will be available on Canal 5, Las Estrellas, TUDN, and the VIX platform. In the United States, there will be two main options. In English, the match can be watched on Fox, and in Spanish, it will be available on Telemundo, Fox 1, Peacock, and Fubo. In Canada, the broadcast can be followed on TSN, and the match will be available openly, World Cup. The match will be available on free-to-air TV, with the national channels of each country offering it in addition to sport. In Argentina, Telefe, TI Sports, D Sports, and DGO. Chile, Chilevisión, D Sports, and DGO. Colombia, Caracol Televisión, RCN, D Sports, and DGO. Peru, America Televisión, D Sports, and DGO. Ecuador, Teleamazonas, D Sports, and DGO. Venezuela, Televen, D Sports, and DGO. Bolivia, Red One Unitel, D Sports, and DGO. Paraguay, Tigo Sports, D Sports, and DGO. Brazil, TV Globo, Sport TV, and KCTV. And if you're following us from Central America, take note. Costa Rica, Teletica, Guatemala, Chapin TV, El Salvador, TCS, Honduras, Televicentro, Nicaragua, Channel 10 Panama, RPC TV, and TVN. So now you know, it doesn't matter from which part of the world you're watching us, because you'll be able to enjoy one of the most exciting matchups of this round of the World Cup. Now it's time to analyze how Portugal is coming into this, whether Cristiano Ronaldo can lead his team to another historic night, how Croatia, always extremely dangerous in knockout rounds, is coming into this, and what the tactical keys to the match might be. Once we've gone over the schedules and TV channels, let's get to what's really important. How is Portugal coming into this knockout match against Croatia? Portugal comes into this match with a mix of confidence, pressure, and huge ambition, because this Portuguese generation has more than enough talent to fight for absolutely everything. But now is the moment when having big names is no longer enough. Now you have to compete, and Roberto Martinez knows that perfectly well. Portugal has one of the most complete squads in the tournament. Speed on the wings, experience at the back, and of course, they have Cristiano Ronaldo, who once again faces a night of maximum World Cup pressure. Because when it comes to a knockout stage, Cristiano isn't just another player. He's a symbol. He's a constant threat. He's that player who might not touch the ball much, but always shows up when the match enters the danger zone. Around him, Portugal has plenty of arguments. Bruno Fernandes can set the pace. Between the lines, Bernardo Silva brings composure, talent, and control. Rafael Leão can break through any defense when there's space. Vitinha provides clarity when building from the back. And at the back, players like Ruben Dias, João Cancelo, or Diogo Costa provide a very competitive structure. But Portugal's big challenge will be to manage the match intelligently. Croatia won't give up. Croatia won't lose their shape. Croatia knows how to suffer. And if Portugal gets impatient, they could fall into the trap. That's why Roberto Martinez needs a Portugal. Mature team, capable of attacking without breaking apart, pressing without leaving space behind, and moving the ball patiently until finding the right moment to accelerate. If Portugal scores first, the game could open up a lot. But if the minutes go by and Croatia manages to slow down the pace, the pressure will start to build. And that's where the personality of their top players will be key. Portugal wants to prove that they're not here just to have a good World Cup. They want to go all the way. But to do that, they'll have to get past one of the toughest teams in the entire knockout stage. Block 4, the knockouts. Bloque 4, ¿cómo llega Croacia? Round of 32 World Cup 2026, and facing them will be a Croatian side that can never, absolutely never, be counted out. Because if there's one team that knows how to compete in knockout rounds, it's Croatia. It doesn't matter how they get there. It doesn't matter if they're not the favorites. It doesn't matter if the opponent has more stars. When the decisive stage of a World Cup arrives, Croatia transforms into a very dangerous team, and Portugal knows that. The Croatian team comes into this knockout round with a very clear idea: to bring the match to their own style. Controlled pace, long possessions, patience, strong defensive focus, and maximum efficiency when opportunities arise. The big name is once again Luka Modric. Even though the years go by, his influence remains enormous. Modric doesn't need to run more than anyone else to control a match. It's enough for him to receive the ball, turn, make the right choice, and give meaning to every Croatian attack. Alongside him, Croatia has very competitive players. Players who are used to suffering, to defending results, and to managing matches under maximum pressure. And that is precisely the big threat for Portugal. Because Croatia excels at taking matches to the limit, surviving under pressure, and waiting for their moment. And they know how to compete like few other teams. When the match gets close to the 70th, 80th minute, or even extra time, Portugal will have more media attention, they will have Cristiano, they will have more speed up front, but Croatia will have something priceless at the World Cups. That ability not to lose their composure, not to give anything away, to stay in the game even when it seems like they're struggling. And if Portugal doesn't manage to seal the tie soon, Croatia could start to grow. Set pieces could also be one of the keys. In this kind of match, a corner, a wide free kick, or a second ball can change everything. That's why Portugal will have to stay very focused. Because Croatia doesn't need to dominate to do damage. They need to resist. They need to believe. And they need to take the match to that scenario where they feel most comfortable. Maximum tension, few spaces, and every detail turned into a final. So this Portugal versus Croatia isn't just a match between two European teams. It's a clash of generations. Cristiano against Modric, talent against experience, speed against control. And a knockout match where either one can keep dreaming or say goodbye to the World Cup on a very tough night.